The canary's song became my beacon of hope. It was my light at the end of the shift. The promise that salvation awaited in the next turn. It separated me and my companions from Sonic. As long as the canary kept singing, we were fine. The echo of the canary's call resonated through the damp walls of the cave, guiding us deeper into the darkness. Several hours had passed since we left the unlit tunnels of the mine. The earthquake had obliterated our exit. It was a miracle that all the crew members were still with us, though we sustained a few minor injuries. We were accustomed to working underground, spending hours in confined spaces with little light. But knowing our only exit was blocked made us feel cornered. What were we suffering for, and what was our purpose there? Was it to stay and die of hunger and thirst, or to venture through the cave's natural and unexplored tunnels, hoping to find freedom at some point? Of course, it was wiser to choose the latter option. Richard, the head of our crew, was an experienced miner. He provided the calm we desperately needed, filling us with hope and motivating us to strive for survival. Listen, everyone, he said, the path will become more rugged and treacherous as we advance. It's essential to conserve our light sources, so we must save batteries. Everyone, turn off your helmet lamps. I'll be the only one to keep mine on. Now let's form a single file. Hold hands. I'll lead the way. Also, let me carry the canary's cage this time. Don't worry. Remember, he too can sense danger. The fear of the unknown kept me on edge, and I'm sure it did the same to the others. But we could trust Richard. Thank God he was with us. He knew a lot about exploration tactics, survival methods, and all those things. Besides, he was right. We had our canary. As long as that little one kept singing, everything would be fine. It's known that harmful gases can be present in caves, such as methane or carbon dioxide. These gases are often odorless, making them practically undetectable to humans. You could be inhaling them for hours without realizing you're heading towards certain death. It's known that canaries can detect these gases, so interpreting their signals can save you from danger. Normally, a canary sings constantly, which means there is no danger. But if it stops singing for a while and loses consciousness, it means you must evacuate the area immediately. That's why they are so commonly used in cave or mine expeditions. We kept moving forward. We could barely see anything, just enough to know where to walk and to realize the ceiling was lowering as we advanced. The sharp, long stalagmites drew closer and closer, like fingers pointing at us. I wiped the sweat from my forehead and looked ahead. There was only darkness. We walked for hours without breathing fresh air. The low light made our progress difficult. But Richard was right. What would we do if we ran out of light in there? It would be horrible, probably the end for us. I felt increasingly tired, but I refused to fall behind. If my team could keep going, I would keep walking, our feet dragging. The canaries chirping and the sound of dripping water were the only sounds in the dune. We couldn't afford to waste precious oxygen by talking. The further we went, the narrower the passage became. My head was spinning from fatigue and dehydration. It was unbearably hot. I had never felt such desperation in my life. I needed to vomit, but I couldn't. The space was too small, and the smell could follow us for the rest of our journey. The canary's call became my hope. It was my light at the end. The promise that salvation awaited at the next turn kept my Spanish companions and me going. As long as the canary kept singing, we were okay. I tried to focus on the melody and close my eyes, imagining the blue sky above my home, holding my dear daughter in my arms, remembering the days we spent watching birds on our fence. Then I returned to reality. I was back in the cave, back in that miserable grotto of mud and filth. Maybe I just needed to separate from the others, maybe my position at the end of the line was taking a toll on me. Perhaps I just needed to feel closer to the exit. So I pushed myself forward. My head spun more and more as I got closer to the front. I moved past my companion, and now I was the one holding Richard's hand, who I started to hear breathing heavily. Too heavily. Hey Richard, if you want, we can rest for a bit. No, it's nothing. I'm fine. Keep walking, guys. I'm sure we'll find an exit soon. Usually, caves branch out inside. We might see some light. Stay alert. I want everyone to stay alert. I turned on my helmet lamp. If you want, I can help you with the cage. At that moment, I felt a sharp pain deep in my stomach. As I tried to take the canary's cage to help Richard, I realized something terrible when I illuminated it. The canary lay lifeless. With an evident display of fatigue, Richard made a discreet grimace and cast a deep look of compassion toward my other companions, who hadn't noticed a thing. Then he placed his index finger on my lips, signaling me to remain silent. He leaned in and whispered in my ear, "Let's go." After that, he let his hand fall. He turned forward, formed an O with his lips, and continued whistling. It was then I understood that we might never make it out alive.